John Wick 3, what an insane movie this is. And I mean that as the highest compliment. It is like an exclamation point of a movie. And I'm wondering what the sugar glass budget was on this movie.
We broke a lot of glass.
You did.
We broke a lot of glass. It's mostly tempered.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing. But really what I want to talk about, which I'm sure everyone wants to talk about, is the dogs. I really love that this movie is kind of like the revenge of the dogs. If you look at the first
Yes,
movie, as everyone's like, oh, it's the action movie where the dog dies. This is one where this is like the dog's revenge. I'm wondering if that was something you thought of before the movie. How did the dogs come into play when you were sort of figuring out the story of John Wick?
No, I have a action notebook like this thick of all the ideas I have, and one I've been waiting for literally since the end of the first film was, we're going to use dogs again. We're going to do dog. I've had this idea to use them tactically for, I don't know, years. It just didn't fit into the overall vibe of what we're doing for John Wick 2, so when it came up to 3, originally theirs was have John with the dogs, but I was like, what would be even better? Okay, we're going to have, this great female cast member with two shepherds that are going to take care of it, and it'll be like this mother-daughter relationship and the sacrifice she gave, and the dogs become kind of an avatar for that.
Amazing. And I think I saw somewhere that you were involved with the training of the dogs themselves. You sort of were doing the action stuff, the stunt training, the gun training, but you were also involved with the training of the dogs themselves.
Yeah, that training was very much a part of my training day. I would go and spend 2 or 3 hours with the dogs and work with the trainers and, really become like a dog trainer to the dogs. And they listened to me. We developed a really good relationship. The dogs.
The way we shoot in the wider shots, in most films you'd see a tighter shot, the trainer would be just off camera, coaxing the dog to do whatever performance we needed. Obviously we shoot very wide with very few edits, so we couldn't have a lot of trainer interactive, so it had to be an on-camera interactive, so Halle just literally became the trainer of the dog. The dogs actually became Sofia's dogs.
Amazing. I couldn't help but notice that in the massive dog scene where the dogs were just flying in and they were attacking people and stuff like that, a lot of the time the places on the people they were attacking was the groin area. I'm wondering if there was the practical reason for that, or if that was just like get them dog.
We always say, like, when you see the John Wick gun fu, okay, what is a tactically correct way to do what John does, and the double tap, the Mozambique technique to the chest, one of the head becomes a very practical. So we just went back to the drawing board. Okay, we went to all our animal trainers and went, okay, what's the number one? You see in movies it used to be the forearm, and that was because the trainer or the stunt person was protecting themselves. But in reality, they're trained to go for. So we're like, okay, well, if John Wick is about headshots, dogs are going to be about groin bites, and we went about figuring out how to make it as safe as we can for not just the stunt performer, so he doesn't actually get bit, but how do we protect the dog? We don't want to hurt the dog's neck. We don't want to hurt the dog's teeth. So we have to come up with ways to do that and things for them to actually bite and latch onto without injuring either side of it.
A lot of trust.
Heaps.
I'm wondering, in your mind, if you mentioned you have the notebook of things to do. I'm wondering if you ever see a limit to a John Wick set piece, if there's anything that you think is outside the realm of possibility.
I think that's a great thing that Keanu Reeves I've always talked about, and it's like it's the John Wick universe hasn't been overly defined, so we can pretty much, as far as our imagination goes, I think, and audience interest goes, I think we can take it as far as we want to go. There's limits, like, we try, just because of the etiquette we have with the characters, we limit our profanity, we limit our nudity, we limit gore in general, just to push you more towards the choreography and the aesthetically pleasingness of the action, not just the violence.